Hello and welcome to India Today. This is Hesha, Cheema, and joining me for a conversation on the show is Rajkumar Rao. Hello!
Hi.
As you came here, I told you I loved your look, I love your style.
Thank you so much.
It's so different from what we've seen you in the last 3 films, and now you're like killing it with your style
it's
game
for
on.
a film only, yeah.
Oh, it is? Oh shit, great. But congratulations on the success of Stree.
Thank you so much. Huge,
massive.
It is huge.
Did you imagine, because the first one was such a blockbuster, I feel even as a journalist myself, I had so many conversations because sometimes when you do a remake or a part 2 of it, you somewhere down the line can go messy with it.
It happens, of course. It has happened in past also, where the first one is always great and the second one people feel that, it's nice but not like the first one. But in our case, I'm so glad people are saying that, it's a lot of people are saying it's better than the first one, it's funnier, it's bigger for sure. I'm so happy with the kind of love that, the film is getting, that I'm getting as Vicky. But about the box office, we kind of knew that it would do well.
Yeah.
But it would do this well, I don't think so any one of us expected. Just like part 1, we thought that, we made a good film, now let's see what happens. But then it became such a huge success and none of us expected. Same as I think the history is just repeating itself. It's going strong and stronger every day. And it's just a lot of gratitude. It's just because you work so hard, on a film. And when people give you so much of love, it just, there's so much of validation that you feel.
Personally, what kind of an actor are you? Are you somebody who really gets attached to the outcome when it's successful, or you're somebody who detaches as easily when it is not so successful also?
No, for me, the most important thing is that the film has to be good. That I should be part of films which are good. That which whoever watches it, no matter 2 people, 2 lakh people, whoever watches it should be like, I've seen a good film.
Yeah.
I should be proud of that film as an actor. For me, that is the most important thing. And then when you make a good film, and when it does well, that's like nothing can match that.
Right.
Because sometimes it happens that you make a good film, but for some reason it doesn't work at the box office. Like for example, Trapped. I'm so proud of that film, but it had a very limited release and it didn't really catch too many eyes of the audiences at that time. But again, like I'm equally proud of that film. It will forever be in my filmography, right up there. But then there are films like Bareilly or Stree, Badhai Do or Shrikant Mahi, which you give your heart and soul to a character, to a film, and then people also appreciate that. People also give you so much of love for your hard work, for your sincerity, and for the film. So nothing bigger than that.
I'm going to pick from what you just said. I feel like in your career, filmography, आपने बहुत ही successfully navigate किया है from picking roles which sort of are tentpole, which entertains the audiences, and then again there's meaty stuff also that you've done on the side. Some message driven, some like Trap. Trap was my favorite. If I turned into a Rajkumar Rao fan, it was a Trap movie, and I feel from the theatre when it came to the OTT, I think blew up even more. So I feel that shift also really worked for you. However, what I do want to ask you is that when you're oscillating between picking projects like these, at that given point in time, is this something that you do because you know that's the route that you want to take, or you feel that as an actor in your journey organically you were approached with such kind of roles?
No, it was very organic. I never planned. I think a lot of things changed right after Bareilly Ki Barfi, because people for the first time saw me doing comedy, doing something which I was not doing before. I was mostly doing dramas, and of course getting a lot of love for that, but people didn't know that I could do this also. And for me also, like how I see comedy is I'm playing my part with utmost sincerity, like how I made a Shahid. The sincerity is same with Bareilly Ki Barfi. Just that it comes across funny because the writing is such, the situation is such. Then you also add as an actor, you improvise, you try and make it better than what's on paper. But that changed a lot of things for me. From there, Bareilly, I think Stree happened, Ludo, and now Stree 2. So it was never planned. It was very organic. It was a very organic move and organic shift. But I never want to leave what I've been doing all my life. Like for me, it's very important for me to do a film like Shrikant, every once in a while, because that gives me a lot of courage as an actor, that I can take challenging parts that I'm very scared of. That how would I do it? I have no idea. But then you get into it, and then things happen. Somehow things happen. Of course, you have to work very hard for it to happen, but I like that. I like choosing parts which are challenging, which is something which is out of my comfort zone, something I have not done before. So I like that. I want to have that mix.
Are you aware of this? This is a conversation that we have, that when there is a Rajkumar Rao film that's releasing, there's a set of expectation that naturally comes with it. I think even as an audience, let alone me being a journalist, I feel one is that the great performance and acting is guaranteed, and ये बंदा कुछ हटके देने वाला है इस movie में. Now that is something that we look at it, irrespective of what the outcome is going to be. Do you sort of, like, are you aware of this notion, one? And do you sort of then take pressure?
No, I'm not aware of this.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not, and I'm glad I'm not.
Yeah,
Because
now you are.
I don't want to. No, because I don't want to work under pressure. I think all my life I've been working in the films that I wanted to be a part of, and not calculating too much that I should do this and then this because this will work and this might also work. I go with my gut feeling. I like a script, I say yes to it. I give it my all to that, and then if it's good, of course people like it, and if it's not good, I learn my lesson. I move on to the next one. And do the same process there. So I can't work under pressure. I can't work with any kind of baggages. For me, it has to be. I have to be free when I'm going in a character. When I'm starting a film, I need to be free. Of course, there's a lot of nervousness before you start any film. There's like I'm equally scared. Like I'm about to start a new film, and I'm shivering from inside. I don't know how will it happen. Every time you're so scared because first 2-3 days are very important where you're figuring out the character.
Right.
So I get very nervous before starting any film. But I think that's in a way that nervousness only guides you and it takes you to the places which are unexplored.
Okay, so then let me ask you, you've spoken about the chills that you get before a particular film. What kind of an actor are you on set?
On set, it totally depends on the kind of genre the film is. If it's a fun film like Stree, then I will be goofing around with my friends on set with Amar, Abhishek, Kapoor. We'll be doing something or the other mischief and having fun off screen also, because it's very important to be like a family, to have that bond, because that fun only translates on screen. And then also as an actor, if I know that there's a lot of scope in this scene where I can make it funnier, so I tend to improvise a lot. I tend to ad-lib a lot to a particular scene. And Amar, being a fantastic maker that he is, and he's also my brother, we've known each other for a long time now. So he knows exactly, what the strength of all his actors. So he takes you in that direction and then lets you be.
Okay, tell me something. We're celebrating your success right now, which is great. But I also want to know, how do you sort of dab into a space where you're not successful at that particular moment, when it's a temporary hit that your career takes and then there is success? How do you dabble through those thoughts?
I'm the same.
Do you process it well? Are you a good person to process that?
I can be pretty detached. So I'm the same. Like a lot of my phone has been ringing non-stop. Getting all the love and so many messages from almost everybody from the industry has messaged me or called me, and even my friends from all around. And social media, of course, is filled with a lot of love and a lot of gratitude for that. I'm overwhelmed, literally overwhelmed. And a lot of my friends actually who know me, they're like, "Why are you sitting at home? Why aren't you out? Why aren't you celebrating, partying?" I was like, I don't know. That's what I like. I like when I'm not working. I like being at home, doing nothing. So that's what I'm doing. But I don't know, things don't really, change me, success or failure, because I know that, because my mind is already in the next film.
Right.
I've started my mental preparation for that. So maybe that helped. But yeah, I don't attach myself too much. I can be pretty detached. Yeah. Because I know the film is doing well. Of course, I'm very much aware it's doing phenomenally well.
Massive opening on the first
Massive opening. It's breaking records, every day. And my character also, Vicky, is getting so much of love. But yeah, there's nothing more I can do apart from that. We tried making a good film. People loved it, and we are very thrilled about it. We're very thrilled with the reactions. But then you have to move on to the next one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me take you back a little bit. You mentioned it that in 2008 you were riding a bike coming to Bombay from Pune to start your life in acting. Do you still recall any of the thoughts that were there on your ride to Bombay at that point in time?
At that point in time, I think the only thoughts would be कि महीने के इतने ही पैसे हैं, I don't know कैसे होगा, how will I arrange for food, I don't know how Mumbai works, how it functions. I have this house, there are 3 of us, maybe I can do. I think these were the thoughts.
Nothing to do with acting?
Acting, of course, was the primary thing. The acting was like, I'm gonna go, and I was very sure of the fact that why I was coming to the city,
right,
to be a film actor. So I was very focused that way. But the initial thoughts you know, being like coming from a small town, not knowing anyone in the city, initial thoughts are how I'm going to adjust to this fast-paced life, how I'm going to, where I'm going to start from. You know, I have no idea where to begin with, who to meet. I didn't know anyone. So those thoughts were there that, you know, I made a show reel of my work in FTI, and I have these show reels, I want to show it to people, but who to meet? Okay, there are casting directors, but would they meet me? But I was very sure that I'm going to go out of my house every day and try and meet as many people as I can and try and give as many auditions, because I was like, this is the reason I came to the city, not to party, not to do anything else, but just to look for work and also work on myself every day as an actor.
Have people around you changed after you became successful?
Those who are really close to me, no, they haven't changed. Those who know me for years now, decades now, they haven't changed. But it happens. I think in the business aspect is such when there is a lot of success. Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like I will never change. I think I'll always be the same. But people around you, not your loved ones, not your friends, but how people see you, their perception would change, I guess. And that's very natural also, I feel.
Yeah. Do you take validation seriously? Like, you're a part of an industry where validation does matter, but then where do you sort of draw your boundary with it? Because sometimes too much of it can also become unhealthy, right?
It does. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can be very detached. So I won't let anything get to my head. Yeah, for me it's important just to keep working and keep pushing myself as an actor, just to surprise myself and surprise my audience by giving them characters that maybe they have not seen before. So that's what keeps me going, that's what gives me high, just to push myself as an actor with every film, try and grow with every film. Of course, I'm also I know that every film won't be like Stree 2.
Right.
It happens like once in years, but it has happened, and as I said, there's a lot of gratitude for that. But for me, what gives me high is to be on a film set and just to push myself, to be scared and to be nervous, and then still to push myself and work the hardest and make the character in that film.
You know, I also want to ask you this. When you started off, you know, what kind of negotiables and non-negotiables you had in your mind? And through so many years of working, did any of those change for you professionally and personally?
No, when I was starting out, of course, there was not like, I'm not going to do this or that. If a character demands, then of course I would do.
Right.
It has to be convincing enough for me to do it. Like in my first film, LSD, Love, Sex or Dhoka, I was butt naked in a scene. Of course, it didn't clear through censors. It was blurred in theaters. But of course, I was scared. But I also knew that this is my first film. It's a big break. I cannot say that I am not comfortable doing it, so I'm not going to do it, because I don't know when will this happen again. When will I get my first film again with Dinesh Banerjee and Shraddha Kapoor? So of course I informed my parents, and my mother was very sweet, and she said, if it's a part of your job, you're an actor, if you think it's very, very important, then yeah, of course, totally go for it. So there's nothing that I would say, if somebody has to convince me, if there are things that I don't believe in if I have to do those things, but somebody has to really convince me, like I have to be convinced enough that barring this moment or this action, this film cannot be made. So it has to be really, I have to be really, really convinced. If there's something I don't believe in, if it's not in my principles of life, then I have to be really convinced to do it.
You know, Raj, lastly, before I let you go, I want to ask you, have you ever given it a thought in terms of what kind of legacy you'd like to leave behind you?
No, yeah, to be honest, no. Not what kind of a legacy, but I just want that, you know, when after 50 years, 100 years, people talk about Indian cinema and then 50 best films of Indian cinema, I want at least 3 or 4 films of mine to be there out of those best 50 films of Indian cinema in last 150 years.
Sweet. That's nice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Raj, for your time.
You.
I'm wishing you all the very best for everything that you do, including your new project.
Thank you so much.
And you have a long day ahead, so good luck with that.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, and let's keep celebrating Stree 2 even more in cinemas.
Absolutely, yes.